first of all, something may surprise you, habits. Habits, our daily habits really determine the outcome of our health, our life, our friendships, our relationships. And I love going back to this because habits can be really hard. And so any little tips that can make them stick. And I think sometimes with habits, we might have this idea of we need to do these 20 things and then we can't do them all 20. So then we feel like a failure and then we give up, right? And then we lose it all. So I love to talk about habits in two ways. There's more than this, but just two practical tips today. Number one, the way that habits stick are they become your identity. So, for example, if I know that I am someone who's celiac, I don't eat gluten, that's my identity. So, if I'm in a restaurant and they have the bread out, I never have to worry about my decision-making power and my fatigue and if I'm hungry or not hungry. I just know my identity is someone who does not eat gluten. There's never a question, never any energy that has to be put forth to make that decision. I'm not a smoker. So once again, if someone offers me a cigarette, I just laugh and be like, no, I'm not a smoker because my identity is rooted in I don't smoke. And so there's never any energy wasted. It's the things that are ambiguous that we're like, sometimes we do this, sometimes we don't, or that we maybe don't identify with. Let's take this example a step further. I am a healthy person. So guess what a healthy person does? They get 8 hours of sleep a night. They maybe take a bath most nights of the week with Epsom salts. They maybe go out for a walk every day after dinner. They may really choose to eat lots of leafy greens and healthy fruits and vegetables because that's their identity. So when you want to make a habit, you first want to try to really get ingrained the identity of who you want to become, because then the habits will be almost brainless. You don't have to waste. We each have a certain allotment of decision making power in the day. And that's why at the end of the day, you're more likely to have potato chips and ice cream because you're exhausted. You've used up all your willpower. It's a real thing. It's science based. And then you're like, I don't have the willpower. And so when we take away that willpower as part of the equation and make it who we are, and you can literally, I years and years ago, after the breast cancer and mold and that, I wanted to kind of reset my subconscious. And I would say, every day in every way, I am stronger and healthier, wealthier and more resilient, younger and more beautiful. I will overcome all obstacles. I will outlast all adversity. Things are turning in my favor. And that has become part of my cells. Like that is, and it's funny because at the beginning I was like, oh, wealthy. I don't know if I will. And beautiful. How can I say I want to be more beautiful? But I'm like, why not? And so what's happened over time is that's become my identity. I can say, you can tell, I can say it without any sort of thought. It's part of me. And because those things are my identity, I've seen my life progressed in all of those places and improve in those levels because it is who I am. So that's habits, number one. Number two is let's talk about just some very, very basic supplements can be overwhelming, but I would say there's a few basics that are core for most all of us. Vitamin D. If we're in the US in this latitude, you might be all over the world, so I'm not sure where you're at. If you're having full exposure of most of your body of the sun during the summer kinds of months, you might be getting enough D, but otherwise we need to supplement. And it's such a crucial hormone and vitamin that it's one of my non-negotiables. Most people need 2,000 to 5,000 a day. And I would say the average person needs more like 5,000 a day, especially I'm in Colorado. So during the typical kind of latitude. Other basics would be a B complex or B vitamins, pretty critical for methylation and detox and allergies and energy and so many things there. Fish oil has always been a big one, but certainly you might be able to get that through your diet if you're eating wild salmon and different foods that contain that. I would say even more than fish oil, one of my new favorites is something called PRMs. This is pro-resolving mediators, and it's down the level from EPA, DHP, DHA, and at the bottom, there's this thing called PRMs, pro-resolving mediators, and they are phenomenal anti-inflammatories. So if you have back pain or neck pain or stiffness or inflammation of any type in your body, these things are super powerful anti-inflammatory. And nowadays, almost all of our major supplement companies make the PRMs. So you can find SPM Pro, SPM Active, SPM Supreme, Omega Pro PRM. And I've got a few on my website too, but there's all kinds of different sources for those. I could go on, but that might be enough for now.